Now let's first start with the OpenLM server component and see that first of all we've added a multiple pool denials. Before we were only able to track denials of single pools. Now we're able to track multiple pools. The reporting resolution of RLM and RMS was greatly enhanced. Now the resolution is by seconds, not by minutes. The configuration of a new license manager is much simpler right now. It's just a point and click, rename the server, and that's it. System alerts had an addition of the LDAP synchronization and broker commands, meaning that you'll be able to see when an LDAP sync has started, when it ended, and also the state of the broker commands. Denials report had the email and version information added in the denials table. The all report filters had the OpenLM the workstation filter added as a drop-down. So you can select multiple workstations from the drop-down or by using a wildcard. The groups window have a searchable list view added to it. So now you'll be able to search your groups, not only see them in a tree view. A reserved license, first of all, a bit of overview. We had an issue when a reserved license was not actually used, but the license usage showed the license available, but the user still got denied. So what was wrong there? The reason for that is that you had unused reserved licenses and were reported as available, but reserved licenses are similar to borrowed licenses, meaning that most of the engineers, most of the population, the end users, they cannot reach the license. It's totally barred off from them to use. So the change that we implemented is that now OpenLM dictates that reserved licenses will be taken into account as borrowed licenses. So you will see it as usage. Now, the affected reports are, as you see below, the license usage, the feature usage status, and so on. I just want to show you a comparison, and what does that mean visually? What is it? So you'll be able to see what I mean by changes in reserved license monitoring. Now, you can see here, first of all, two colors. We have the blue line and the red line. When the red line is version 3.3 and version 4 is the blue line. So as you can see, the blue line is always, it starts off from 1 because it, for this period, had reserved license. So you see it start off from 1, but version 3.3, you see it start off from 0. The reserved license is not taken into account. Now, as you see, version 3.3 had skewed results as skewed data as a result. Now it's much better handled, and you'll better understand what's going on with your licenses. So you won't have issues when license seems available but users still get denied. So the reporting method, it's much more accurate. The next enhancement batch that we did is to the OpenLM Alerts extension. Now, keep in mind that I will, near the end of the demonstration, I will also show you the OpenLM Alerts extension and everything that you see here. So we've seen the OpenLM server and all the UI changes, and now we will take a look at the Alerts extension and what was added. So First of all, the alerts extension was given the ability to start and stop a license manager remotely. This gives you a better control and better management using the OpenLM Alerts extension. As I mentioned in the start, this is what we're striving for with the Alerts extension. Also, you'll be able to define what you mean by duplicate license usage. The OpenLM Alerts extension has a condition to alert you once a duplicate license has been pulled. So now you'll be able to define what do you mean by duplicate. Is it the same license on the same machine but different users? Is that duplicate? You can define what you mean. Also, we've added notifications to the involved user. Now, let's say that you have a user that's using for more than 12 hours and you want to get notified, but you also want the user to get notified. So before, it was not possible to do such thing. Now, the user himself will get notified about the condition that it passed. The feature usage percentage calculation also, now you can define when you select multiple features, you can define what you mean by feature goes over 90%. Does it mean all features together, or when a single feature trips the condition, then send an email. Also, now you'll be able to append text to the alert email, so you'll be able to distinguish emails between duplicate license usage or session duration, so you'll be able to customize it a bit better. And the last addition we implemented is the email alert format, which was just text. Now it's in table format. You get all the conditions that were tripped, all the features. It's much more, it's simplified, it's easier to read. It's in the form of a table as requested by many customers. So you can see the changes here, but I'm not going to go over this one by one. I'm just going to show it to you in the live demonstration. So we took a look at all the server changes. We saw all the changes to the alerts extension. And now we're going to take a look at the broker component. So first of all, we wanted to simplify all the configuration and detection regarding the broker and the OpenLM server, but mainly we want to get the configuration much easier. So first of all, we've changed it so the path to the lmutil, to the util executable file, is now needed to be set in one place, and that's it. Before, you had a list, so you needed to fill the path for LMX, fill the path for FlexLM. Now you don't have to do that. You just register it in one place, and I'll show you. It's very simple. Also, we've added automatic detection to RMS, which was not present before. And now the whole detection mechanism works with Linux as well. Before, you needed to manually configure Linux servers, but now the broker configures itself automatically and detects all the relevant license server on the Linux machine. And lastly, we implemented the ability to manage start and stop commands in any license manager that has a Windows service running. So this is much better. This causes the system to be much more cooperative with all license manager types. So the next improvement, next enhancement is in the directory synchronization. So first of all, we've added eDirectory support. Now you'll be able to group users by the attributes such as department or country or anything that you have in your Active Directory. And also you can now structure hierarchies of groups and users within groups. So these are the major changes to the directory synchronization. As you can see here, now you'll be able to just check user attributes here and add either your own attributes or add a pattern, regex pattern, or you can just select department or country or anything, any other column that you have. And if you select hierarchical, you'll be able to get the full hierarchy of your groups. So we've looked at the OpenLM server, the broker, the alerts. Now we saw the Active Directory changes. Now let's take a look at some changes made to the agent component. So first of all, we've enhanced the performance. We've much improved the performance of the agent. So now, first of all, it's faster. The end user interface is much smoother, much faster. This is due to the other point here, the paging. We've added paging to the license usage screen, the end user console. So everything loads up much quicker. Doesn't matter how many licenses and how many license servers you have. As you can see on the right here, you'll be able to see pages that you can scroll through. The next enhanced extension is the reporting hub, which had a few dimensions added to it and one measure. First of all, we've added package dimension. So now the reporting hub will be able to group, filter, and pretty much do anything with the package dimension. Also, we've added idle time measure. Now you'll be able to use the idle time of the reporting hub. We've added versioning, so you know where you are at any moment for the ETL, for the reports, and so on. We've added tables that enable you to show the measures, but with all versions selected, such as the Easy Admin has. Also, database instance support. We can now connect to SQL Server using an instance, and also Firebird support. So the Firebird databases are now supported by the ETL. Now, the reporting hub is an extension that probably most of you don't know about, but it is featured in our other webinar, the OpenLM extensions. Also, the next extension that I want to show you also is featured there. So the OpenLM App Manager is a new feature I want to talk about. I won't go over all the changes in depth. I will just go quickly over them, and I will show you the OpenLM App Manager in the demonstration after I finish this presentation. So first of all, a few words on the OpenLM App Manager. The OpenLM App Manager allows you to monitor hybrid licensing, meaning you'll be able to monitor floating licenses as well as named licenses, node-locked licenses, and you'll be able to track both of them together using the App Manager. So first of all, We've added the ability to bind, of course, bind those two those two types of licenses, so thus hybrid licenses. Now you'll be able to specify the license consumption by process. You can control checkouts. We've changed the sequencing, the denial logic. Now you're able to use package rules as well, and you can now choose unlimited licenses. Now, we will go over all these changes and see the module itself. So what's next? First, you can download and install the enhanced features of OpenLM version 4. A quick recap: it was the changes were in the server, broker, agent, which are the core components. And also, if you would like to try the extensions, you need to contact sales, and you can try the enhancements in the directory synchronization, the alerts, reporting hub, and app manager. So we went over all the changes in a presentation, so now I want to show you all the changes in a live system that we have. So I'm going to put two systems side by side. On the right you'll be able to see version 4, and on the left you'll be able to see, you can see version 3.3, the latest version we had of version 3.3. So the first thing that you can see that really pops is these red lines. Now, these red lines represent a part of what I talked about, the ease of configuration. You'll be able to easily configure the new OpenLM servers, new license managers, sorry, by just clicking approve on the line. And you'll just rename it and you will have the line here. So I just click approve, I input the name, and I have it here. Once I refresh the OpenLM server, I will see it here and it will be fully connected. No need to configure it using the OpenLM server configuration tool. So let's go over some changes we had in the reports. First of all, you can see in the filters on the left here, we have users, groups, projects, but we don't have workstation filter. So on the right, you see in version 4, we've added workstation filter. You will be able to select how many workstations and filter by that. The second change that I want to show you is, you've seen this before, but it's the difference between reserved license monitoring and no reserved license monitoring. So on the left you can see version 3.3. You see it all starts from 0. The reserved license is not taken into account. And in version 4 you see that it all starts from 1, because this entire period had a reserved license which is now taken into account, but was not taken into account before. Now this is prevalent in all reports of OpenLM, of EasyAdmin, as well as the license servers. You can see on the left here, this has 12 and this has 14, because this also shows you the reserved licenses, which version 3.3 doesn't. The next change I want to show you, the next modification, is in the denials report. So you can see here on the right we have email and version columns, something which is missing here in version 3.3. You also have the additional key, which enables multiple pool denials. The next screen we had, enhancements, is something that many customers asked for, is the ability to search the groups. So on the left you see the tree view that we have, and on the right you have the tree view, but you also can have the groups sorted in a list view, and this enables you to search. So for example, here I search all the groups related to USA. So you can, for example, search them and then select all of them together, which is very, very helpful. The OpenLM Alerts extension had many enhancements added to it. I want to go over them with you. So first of all, you can see on the right there is the run a broker command on LM server. You can start, for instance, you can start the server once a license server is not responding condition is tripped, then you can select, for instance, to start the server. So this gives you another layer of management using the alerts themselves. So this is the first thing that we can see. The second thing is the duplicate license usage, for example. You see that here it's not expandable, here it's expandable because we added a way for you to first filter which features you want this condition to look at. And also you can set what you mean by duplicate license. Is it same licenses on multiple workstations, same license on single workstation? So you have a lot of options here. Also, usage percentage. You see I set the usage percentage here to be over 90%. But do I mean usage percentage over 90% for a single feature? If I choose 5 features, for example, I choose 5. Do I mean over 90 for all of them together, or meaning the average between them? Or do I mean when one goes over 90, just let me know. So this gives you another layer of separation between the alerts that you can get. The usage period, as you can see here, has stayed the same, but what you can do with it is changed here in the actions. If we go to send an email, let's open that up, and you'll be able to see that now you can notify the involved user. So when you get the email, you know that also the user who's involved in, let's say, usage period over 600 minutes, you know that he also got the email. And you can customize the title and have him know that the alert is because of him using for over 600 minutes. The next thing that I want to show you, it's a whole new module to OpenLM. It's the OpenLM App Manager. Let me just enlarge this. So a short recap. The App Manager allows you to track applications that have both named licenses, node-locked licenses, floating licenses. You have a whole sort of licenses, and you want to be able to monitor them all together, because at the end they're a part of the same feature, the same application that you buy licenses for. So you can see, for example, I have here Autodesk version 2017, and I limited one license for it, meaning that if someone tries to pull a license, even if it's not a floating license, it's a named license, they try to pull a license, then they get the license. But another engineer tries to pull a license, he will be denied because you set a limit, even though it's named or node-locked licenses. You can limit it to how much you like. Also, you'll be able to set conditions to your applications, to your users. So, for example, you can set all sorts of conditions you can set. For example, only Autodesk, only after 11, only for this workstation, only for a group includes USA. You can do a lot with it. You can change it at will, choose whichever applications that you want, have them use only the version that you want. So for example, I have this rule here that says if the time is after 11 and the application is Autodesk, version 2017, and the group is USA, then deny the group. So if someone meets all these criteria, he will be denied from pulling a license. Doesn't matter if it's a named license, node-locked license, just anything. So this gives you a way to take those named licenses and node-locked licenses and better control them and maybe better allocate them. And this way you'll be able to better manage your licenses that you have. Now I want to quickly go over the changes made to the OpenLM broker. Now, first of all, as we said, it can now detect RMS automatically. It now detects Linux automatically. It has start and stop for all license managers that have a Windows service running. But the most visible change that you might be interested in is that in the advanced settings here, in version 3.3 on the left here, you can see that you needed to set all the path, the beta LM path, the SPLM path, LMUtil, everything. Now this was very tiresome and caused some issues, so we got rid of that. On the right here you see the advanced settings only has the log level, and the data is, you input the path here under the port. If the port is RMS, you just input in the command, click update, and the status inquiry and everything will be updated accordingly. And lastly, the OpenLM agent. Some of you probably use an agent and saw that when you get many features and many license servers, so it can probably get a bit slow, this interface. Now this interface, as you see, is very quick. It's just a second or two and it just pages on, so it's very fast. Also, the reporting of the OpenLM agent itself to OpenLM server has been modified and has been enhanced, so it will take less traffic. Now, this is it for the demonstration part. We had a full presentation when we went over all the details. This demonstration that we saw everything there is to see. And now I would like you I would like to have a short Q&A session with me and Oren. If you have any questions, if you have any questions relating to what you've seen today, to the enhancements, if you have any suggestions, anything, please, you can write down your questions in the chat. And also you can just use your microphone if you have, and just ask. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I will thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the short presentation we had here for all the new things in OpenLM version 4. Thank you very much. If you have any questions that you remember after you leave the webinar, you can send an email to the OpenLM support team at support@openlm.com, and we'll be happy to answer or assist with any issue that you have. Thank you. Thank you all.